Hello, everybody. Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Hope you all are having a good day. I am inviting some friends to join us. Inviting some friends because we're going to have a nice little author chat. Hey Regina. DC, I see you there. Hey everybody. Unusual for me to be on Sunday. It's not Tuesday for Kid Author Connect, but I started doing these author chats because I have so many author friends that really are worthy of an interview, and I could not fit them all in for my Tuesday show. So I started doing author chats, so just impromptu, kind of spontaneous. And I love it because you have to meet the rest of these, the rest of my friends, and this is the only way to do it. So today, I wanted to introduce you to DC Spaar. Danielle is her name. And she has a Kickstarter program, and you guys know that I'm coming to the close of my Kickstarter. I have 4 more days left. But she just started about a week ago, and she has a really amazing campaign. She's doing very well, but her book, the theme of her book, the characters in her book, I really want you guys to hear about it because I think it's interesting. I think it's fun, and the message is amazing. It's very important. So I want us to support her. I want you to hear her story. And I want you to support her. And first of all, before she even comes on here, she is so much fun. She is so much fun. She's always doing something exciting or silly. She's laughing all the time. We need that, right? We need that. So you got to meet her. I can't wait for you to meet her. Let me bring her in. DC, send you a request and bring you in here, girls. And you guys, we'll give you some information about Kickstarter too, because many of you are considering that. Hey!
Hello,
How are you?
Hi,
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. I was just typing in the chat and then it popped up to join. I was like, oh, okay, hold on.
Yeah,
There we go.
I'm so glad you could join. I know this was short notice, but
Yeah,
I
no.
really wanted to introduce you to the rest of my group that doesn't know you. DC Spaar, your name is Danielle, is that right?
Yep, a lot of people call me Danny.
Danny, okay, good. Well, you and I had the pleasure of doing an interview before. A few months ago,
Yeah.
you interviewed me, so that was fun. Yeah, and I was telling them I enjoy following you because you are such a breath of fresh air. You're always laughing. You're always so up and smiling and very encouraging, and I need that many days, so I enjoy it. I enjoy it.
Well, thank you. I'm not that way all the time, but I figure there's so much out there that does get us down that we don't need to see any more of that. We need to see happier things.
Exactly. You're right. You're absolutely right, because everyone's going through something. And that brings me to, well, first let you introduce yourself to everybody.
Okay, so my name is Danielle Spaar, and I write children's books. I have been focusing on a series, a detective series, that basically started out with my son Logan being the main character, and now it's a team of 2 with my niece, and of course this is when they were little, and they find lost things with a secret task force. So that's how I started this whole thing. I'm a hairdresser by trade, but with the pandemic, I was out of a job, and so I said, okay, what am I going to do now? And I had this book in my dresser for the last 12 years, and I thought,
I know how that is.
Yeah. Yep.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You know what? You did the same thing that many authors that I've met, including myself, we did that. Oh, I'm sorry. It looks like we're having a bad connection. Can you hear me, Danielle? Hold on a second, guys. I think she might be going through a bad area. Let's see if I can get her back. She's frozen.
Let me see if I can get.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
You can.
Okay.
Yes, we can now. You were frozen there for a second.
Oh, okay. Oh, and
Yeah,
of
you
course
were
my
frozen. But
phone is dead. Okay, sorry. It
I
must have
think you're
gone
fine
through.
now. I think you're
Okay.
fine now. You look good.
We went through.
Okay, good.
Sometimes there's like big old cliffs and stuff, so maybe that's it. I don't know.
Yeah, I can tell it's your area that you're in, but you were saying that the pandemic kind of pushed you out front to go ahead and get your book done. And I've met several authors, children's book authors and otherwise, who did the same thing. It was the perfect opportunity, even though it was terrible.
Yeah, it was our silver lining.
Yes, yes, I did the same thing. I did the same thing. And it's worked out fine. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yep.
It was actually absolutely perfect.
And I don't
But
know if I'd have ever done it. I don't know about you, but I don't know if I'd have ever pushed myself
you got
if it
pushed out
didn't.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And Donnie Zoni is saying he or she wrote their first children's book during the pandemic as well. So yeah, you kind of got pushed out there and you had to be flexible and pivot. And so you did that. So that's awesome. But I wanted everybody to meet you, number one, because I think you're great and I'm glad that I'm
Oh, thank
following
you.
you. But also because of your Kickstarter program, your Kickstarter campaign. How many days in are you?
Okay, so I believe it's 20, I think yesterday was 21, so 20 days left. So that makes me 11 days in.
11 days
So
in.
yeah,
Okay.
so it's
That's good.
nerve-wracking. I know you know this.
I know, I
Um,
know. I try to share with everyone, people who are considering it, how much work it is. It is a lot of work. It is
yes,
rewarding. It is rewarding, but you
yes,
have to keep in mind that it is fund or fail. There's no in between.
nope.
So that means that
So
you have to keep pushing every minute.
yes, every minute. I mean, that's why I'm in a car in Wisconsin. I'm like, let's do this. Um, so yeah, I knew it was going to be a lot of work, but,
Yeah.
and I was like apprehensive about it, but I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this. And sometimes you do have to take that leap, and leap of faith that
Yes.
this is what I'm going to do. So I'm really happy and I met you guys, and the whole author group is such a great community, especially the children's book author. I'm sure the adult author group is the same, but just so supportive. It's been really, really
Yes.
nice. Oops, and now I'm frozen
Yes,
again.
it is a supportive community, the children's book authors. And then we found each other, the group of us that are doing Kickstarters or had done Kickstarters. We started, really supporting each other too. And that makes a big difference. It really makes a big difference.
Yes.
But I want to tell everybody about your book and about your story. Okay. Because I heard you speak. I heard you speak, and I was just so impressed with you, with your story, with your background story, and your mission. You have a great mission. Can you tell everyone what your mission is for your campaign?
Yes. So what happened in the pandemic is I became a caregiver for my dad who has Alzheimer's, and also really for my mom who has really bad health as well. My husband, my son, and I, we moved into their basement and put an apartment in there, and we were really shown the behind the scenes of. I mean, there's over 6 million Americans that are dealing with Alzheimer's. So I realized that there needs to be a lot of support with this disease.
Yeah.
It is I've had breast cancer. My mom's had breast cancer. We've had a ton of cancer in our family. So we've been through that. And honestly, in my opinion, it's one of the worst diseases out there because it's such a slow goodbye.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do. There's no treatment. I mean, there's things to maybe slow it down, but sometimes we did, do some medicine. It slowed it down to a point which wasn't a good phase,
Mm-hmm.
so then you go through that. But So my mission really is, with this fourth book in the Kickstarter, is to bring awareness that there is help out there. There's support. The Alzheimer's Association gave me such good tips for caregiving, and such really opened my eyes to the I don't want to say market, but the need for children to know about this disease. Because I started looking, I'm like, okay, well, I write chapter books, so I'll look and see what's out there. And there's very, very few chapter books. I found one by a doctor that we've been talking and about Alzheimer's. And I wanted then to really get something out there that parents could use as a resource too, but a fun resource. Because, you know, kids go to school, they have their workbooks and so forth. And so I wanted, and this is such a serious subject, and can be like, ooh, scary for them, that I wanted it to be a fun, loving story to really show that the love and the support can make it so much easier on these families going through this.
Yeah, I saw that. What you wrote, that is that your goal is to raise awareness about Alzheimer's, right? And then also to open the door for parents to start to have this conversation with their children.
Yes.
And I was very impressed with that. I think that's very important.
Yes. And I found that it wasn't necessarily happening. You know, when I tried to explain it to my friends' kids, I was stumped. I was like, okay, well, I don't want to scare them.
Right. Because it is scary. It can be scary.
Like, oh, is he going to forget me? You know, is what they go to. And so then I was like, okay, and see, now my head, my brain, my thoughts just went out my head.
Oh, that's okay. I was just saying to you how you really are trying to open up that door of communication. And that needs to happen. You're so silly.
So I tell my dad that too. I'm like, okay, with us two together, when we go out, it's a little scary. Okay. And that's another thing is I use humor. I think that helps a lot of people, because I have friends that they went through this and they were silent caregivers and they suffered in silence.
That's so hard.
It is. And I'm more extroverted. And so I want people to know that, no, you can talk about it. And it's really good to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's good for the loved one that's going through Alzheimer's, because then there's this shame that's connected to it, and it doesn't need to be. It's not their fault, you know? And so with the kids, I want parents to be able to know how to talk to their kids. And with this book, it introduces them to the effects. So it's not like, okay, this is Alzheimer's, da, 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 da. It's in a detective story. PJ goes missing, and Logan and Emily need to find him.
Right.
And so, and also in the book, I put little tips like how to talk to a loved one with dementia, tips for caregiving, so that when the parents are reading the story with them, then afterwards the conversation can be, so what do you think about that?
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And let the kids lead the way.
A discussion starter. Lots of that. And what I like that about what you're doing is you are giving very good information, good, real, valid information, but you're weaving it into your story. So you're not just telling them what could happen. You're showing them in your story what did happen.
Yes.
You know, and they can relate to the kids, because the kids are going through it. That helps the readers to relate that maybe this isn't so scary, and God forbid if this happened, maybe I could be like Logan, or maybe I could do what Emily did.
Yep, exactly. There's one part that Logan is afraid. He's like, am I going to have to give up my room? Am I going to have to be quiet all the time?
Yeah.
You know, and those are thoughts that my kids had, you know, that it was like, okay, I mean, we love PJ. We're going to do whatever we can. But, you know, those thoughts are going on. And I want to say it's okay to have those thoughts.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yes. And no, you know, we will work together as a family, as a team, as if any other challenge would hit a family. Yeah. You can do it together.
Yeah. So in your book, PJ is the grandfather?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. Okay, PJ is the grandfather.
Papa
And
John.
Papa John. Okay, I was going to ask, was it initial, whatever. That's nice. I like that.
Yeah, and he
And
didn't. That is my dad. And
okay.
on my Kickstarter, you'll see the real PJ at the very
Hmm.
end.
Hmm.
He was very young when the first grandchild came around, and he's like, and his dad was alive still, and he's like, I'm not Papa yet. And so that's how PJ came about.
Hmm. That's really nice. Well, my grandchildren, they call me Nene, so I'm not like grandma or anything.
Yeah,
So,
you're too young to be
well,
grandma, right?
I've got a whole bunch of them. So, but yeah, I like the PJ because my name is different. You know, they call me Nene, which is really cute, which is really
Yep.
cute. But
Yeah.
I really think that this is really special, DC. I
Thank
really do.
you.
I think it's really, really special. And you're a good writer. Your series
Thank
is
you.
very interesting. And this character, though. So tell me about Logan. Tell me Logan, the character, not Logan, your son.
Okay, so the character, he has a little sassiness to him, he can find anything. He's very natural ability in that, right? And so he gets noticed by the secret task force, and so he's kind of an easygoing kid where he's like, okay, you want me to help you? All right, and he also has a very strong moral compass, I guess I could
Mm-hmm.
say,
Okay.
because in each story you do learn something, and he'll call something out if it's bad. If something's not right, it's a whoa, wait a minute, that's not right. But if he makes a mistake, then he will apologize too, and he'll be like, ooh, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, he's a good role model, but he's not like the perfect
Perfect.
person. He's a real kid. And how old
Yep.
is he in the book?
He's 11.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so a lot of kids can relate to that.
Yep.
Yeah. And so he's really cool because he's kind of like an undercover agent of
Yeah.
sorts, which is
Yeah.
pretty cool. Which is pretty cool. If you can imagine a kid going, "Hey, I would like to be an undercover agent."
Yeah. And he gets these cool gadgets that I kind of thought of when I used to watch Inspector Gadget.
Hmm.
And but I wanted to make them real enough that
Yeah.
kids could maybe be like, is that possible?
Right. Is this real? Yeah. Could I really do that?
Yes.
Right.
And Logan loves it, and he loves his job, and he loves helping people. That's
Yeah.
his big. You can see that with the stories, is that he truly cares about everyone and wants to help, um, and is a good friend
Hmm. He's a good
too.
role model for kids. He really is. And so
Thanks.
now he likes to help, but now he's actually helping his own grandfather, which
It's
is
the
really
most important case, and at first, his kind of easygoing personality, he's just kind of like, okay, Grandpa, PJ, it's fine, we probably just don't. He's doing something and lost track of time, but then you can kind of see in the book where he's like, well, wait a
something's
minute,
wrong. Yeah.
something's not quite right, and usually that is what happens. Is at first kids are like, it's not a big deal. He called me my brother's name or whatever, and then a little bit, they're so keen and they're like, oh, wait a minute, something's a little off.
Hmm.
And they don't know quite what it is. And so that with Logan, you see that transformation.
Yeah. So since Logan, your son, went through this with his grandfather, his PJ,
Mm-hmm.
what is something that you included for Logan in the book that your son Logan went through with his grandfather? Are there any instances that you included to really make that point of how serious this can be?
Yes, there's a discussion between Logan and his mom, and it's when they're going to start living together, and Logan's just concerned about what life's going to look like, with this new family situation. And I had this conversation with Logan because he
Mm-hmm.
was worried, and I said, and he asked, he's like, do I have to be better? Do I have to be, quiet and all this stuff? And I said, Logan, the biggest thing is to be loving and to be patient. I said, I gave him, in the story, I gave the real illustration. I gave my Logan. I said, it's kind of like when you were little and you were learning to ride a bike, or you were trying something new, and we just kind of had to be patient, you know, and you didn't get it right away, or maybe you made mistakes or whatever, but we were patient and let you kind of do your thing. I said, that's how we have to be with PJ, because he's going to have a hard time doing things now. He's going to be slower. He's not going to get his words right. He may say the wrong thing for an item. And instead of correcting, you want to make sure that you're helping and in a loving way, you know, just get that item for him. And you don't have to be like, no, this is this. It's not what you said. And so I had that conversation with Logan, because, you know, he's 17 and when we moved in 16. And he can be impatient. He's, you know, a normal
He's a
kid.
teenager. He's a teenager.
Yes. And so we've had talks since, you know, that, hey, you weren't really you know, because he's like, oh, you know, blah, 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 or something. And I'm like, Logan, you know, is that patient? You know, remember when you didn't do this and I asked you 100 times?
Right.
And then he kind of sits back and he's like, yeah. And we all need it. I make mistakes too. You know, I know what not to say, and I might lose my patience and I say it.
Yeah. Well, you're living it. You're living it. You know, being a caregiver, we hear so many times for any different illness, any different reason. We hear so often what a difficult job it is to be a caregiver. And nobody really knows that except the caregiver.
Yeah. I had no clue. I thought I did.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm like, we're going to do this and blah, blah, blah.
Because that's your dad and you're going to go take care of him. You're going to do what you have to do. But until you get in there, and you have to start being that 100% 24/7 care provider, especially like you said, for something like Alzheimer's, it's a slow situation that changes into something else, you know, and you don't really know what you're dealing with until it progresses. My husband's mother had dementia before she passed away. So yeah, it was difficult. It was difficult.
It may be a new person that wakes up. That's what we've learned too. And I've had to kind of help others understand that maybe he could do this yesterday.
Yeah.
He can't now.
Not today.
And
no.
That's how it is. Or it's just a bad day.
Yeah.
So you have to be so flexible.
Yeah.
You know, and that's another thing that I say in the book is, you know, we just kind of have to go with the flow.
Yeah. So Logan's mom in the book had the same conversation with him that you had with your Logan. That's beautiful. Yep. You know that's going to be helpful to some child, right?
That's what I'm hoping. Because I knew, you know, like, okay, I was kind of walking in the dark. I mean, my faith definitely helped me always to get through things.
Yes.
And I wanted to help others that are in the same situation or in the future, maybe, you know, because I know that some have contacted me and they're like, oh, this, you know, has helped me, or I'm so glad that you're doing this. And that to me is the best compliment that I can get, you know, is that I helped someone.
I think you're going to get a lot more compliments, Danielle. I really do. I know this is an enjoyable story, and I know children are going to have a good time reading it, and hopefully reading it with their families. But I just know you're going to help not only children, but their families as well, the grown-ups. Because other people are going to be going through what you're going through. Maybe not as, you know, like they have to move in, but there's some care that's going to have to be done for the parent.
Yep.
And there's going to be a lot of life changes. So a book like this can let a child know, hey, Logan did it, and Emily was there to help him, and we can do it too. You know, we can do it too. And then the most important thing, I don't want to forget, and this is a Kickstarter, guys, so we're going to get to that. We want you to support Danielle. Definitely want you to support, because we can go and support you. We can purchase the book, you know, for someone we know. Maybe someone we know has a family member that needs to hear your message. But it's just a great book, regardless if you're dealing with Alzheimer's or not. It's a good book, right? So we can order for a child that we love. This is what I always say with my campaign. You can order for a child you love, or you can donate for a child in need.
Yes.
So
and I do. I want to one day, I know you said that you thought the same thing, that one day, the best day will be when I can just donate
All
as
of them.
many books as I want.
I know, that's
Yep.
the whole point. It's when you said that the other day, it's like, that is my goal. That's always been my goal since I first wrote Johari the Great. And by the way, my grandson Johari, who the book is named after, is on watching. Hi, babe.
Oh, I
Love
wondered,
you. So yeah, I mean, I want to just give away the books that I write. Not the best
Yeah.
business plan, but that's really how I feel. So that's why I did the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you do a Kickstarter, you're reaching a larger group. You have a larger audience, and people from anywhere can, you know, grab a hold of your message and say, hey, that's something I want to support. And then it
Yes.
enables you to get the book printed, to get the book distributed. So it's a wonderful platform for a message like yours, especially, right? So
And I didn't know about the platform before, and I'm so glad that I was introduced to it because there's so many good books on there.
I have spent so much money on Kickstarter. Let me just get that
Yes!
out. First of all, I need to be finished so I can get off of there because
I know.
there's so much to support. It's such a wonderful world of creatives, really.
Yes.
And just the children's literature, there's just so much. But I've met some really wonderful children's authors, so it's been great.
Yes.
But I do want to share that when people support your campaign, 50% of your profit is going to go toward the Alzheimer Foundation. Is that correct?
Yep. So
Association.
after I pay for the book, so Kickstarter is very clear. Like, you use the Kickstarter money to make your project, right?
Yes.
And so then anything after that, I can give 50% to the Alzheimer's Association. I can't wait because, like I said, I just want to show them how much they matter and help, and to let other caregivers know that they don't have to do this alone.
Right.
You know, that there's programs out there. I'm on Alzheimer's Association showed me this My Alz team, and you have people all over the world that can join your team, and you can join others, and all you do is help, like, encourage each other, or say someone has to vent. It is a safe place.
Yes, where they're not going to be judged, right?
Yes.
Yeah, for having a bad day or being impatient,
Yeah.
like you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, and they just cheer you on, and I don't know how someone can do it without support, you know? And so I just want others to know about it.
That's so beautiful. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
I really am. I really am. This is beautiful. I just hope one day you can find out, you know, some people that can say, hey, because of Logan, my son was able to get through my parents, you know, having Alzheimer's, or because of Emily helping Logan, it made it less frightening for my children, or even the parents in your book can really, you know, be inspirational to the parents who are dealing with this as well.
Yeah,
so,
I hope.
Okay, so guys, DC Spaar, I want you to go to her Instagram. The link is in her bio. You just click that link and go and just look at what she laid out in her campaign. You have to see it, really. And the book is excellent. I can't wait to get my copy. You know, I supported you. I cannot wait to receive it.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, it's a good book and it's a worthy cause. And you're really giving of yourself. You're living your story. You're living Logan's story. And that makes a difference because your heart is really in this book.
Yep.
It really is. And your message is your message.
Right.
It really is. So I'm really happy to be able to talk to you about this. I think it's really great. So you have 20 more days, right?
Yep.
20 more days. Okay. And before we go, though, I do want to give you an opportunity to tell us about Emily and Logan's relationship.
Okay, so I love my niece to death, and we always used to laugh because, you know, she's actually my husband's niece. You know, she's my niece-in-law. But we're like, man, somehow we're DNA connected because we're, you know, two crazy girls, you know. And my husband is very shy, more introverted, and so forth. And Emily and me, we're just like, yeah, let's do it. And Logan has my husband in him, and so he can be very like, okay, we're gonna do it this way and this way. And Emily comes in ball of fire and is like, let's party. And so they balance each other out.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you see in the story, where Emily is ready to just go barreling in to do whatever because her heart is in the right place.
Right.
She's, on fire. She's passionate. And of course, like, Logan is like, okay, we need to count the cost. We need to have a plan, and so it's such a great friendship story too,
Yeah.
In one part, he's like, Emily's like, let's go, and she's ready, and she's just talked about being responsible, right? And Logan looks at her and is like, hey, responsible, you need to put your helmet on. Because they're biking,
Right.
And they have mini rockets on their bike. So
Okay, that's good. That's
good. And then Emily just laughs, and she's like, "Oh, you're right," And that's kind of the nice friendship that you don't have to be all like the same things or be the same person. We can be friends with
everybody.
Different. Yes.
Yeah. And it's nice to see a boy and girl relationship, just a friendship. That's good too. So lots of good examples in there for children. So I think it's great. I can't wait to get my book. And I wish you so much success with your Kickstarter. So where are you at now? Where are you at? You have 20 days.
Yep, I'm at 20 days. As of yesterday, I was 25% funded.
Okay, you got 20 days to get your other 75%. And then some. You know me, I believe in the overflow because I'm just still pushing.
Yes. And so yes, I do need, I'm kind of contacting now even businesses that, because one of my reward tiers is to sponsor a classroom where they give 25 books to the students. I go in and I do an author workshop with them for about 20-30 minutes to also try and not only get the book out, but
share that message.
Yeah.
You
So
have to do that.
Kind of looking at that too, where if you're a business, that might be something, because I also in my book have an in honor of page. I wanted to make sure that those who supported, especially have a loved one and it touches them personally, I want to put their loved one in my book.
Yeah, that's so special.
In honor of, so that they can share in this book with me, that it's a group effort,
Yeah. That's
and they
really
can then
special.
put,
and it's something that they'll always have. They'll always
their
have
loved
that.
one's name is in there,
Yeah.
I just thought people might like that.
They would. I like it. I think it's special. I do. And so let me just, before I let you go, I want to make sure if I didn't miss any questions. Okay, we have lots of good comments. Great response. Patience is key for many things. Yes. Great question. And families dealing with Alzheimer's definitely need more fun resources. Yes. You're the perfect one for that. So you have a lot of support here. It is a great story. It really is. And you have a lot of support. So I hope that our friends watching are either supporting you already or they'll click that link. And remember, guys, with Kickstarter, you do not get charged until she finishes her campaign. And we're not going to say if you get funded, because you are going to get funded. So after she's funded in 20 days, that's when your charge can come out. So, give her some support. I really want to see you do very well, because I think it's a beautiful message.
Thank you.
And a good book.
Thank you so much.
And a good
book.
Thank
you. And thank you so much for having me and interviewing me, even though I'm in a car.
That's okay. We can hear you.
Good.
So, yes, I am here to support you. Let me know if I can help you in any way. And
thank you so much.
We'll be chatting online.
All right.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
So, guys, again, her link is in her bio. This is really a great cause. It's a very fun story, and it's so touching because she's written a story, but she's living that. She's really sacrificed a lot to love and care for her dad. So, and then 50% of her profit after the book is printed and everything that's left, 50% of that goes toward the Alzheimer's Foundation, so that they can support other families going through this. So let's support her, okay? I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping in, guys. I'll see you later. Have a great afternoon.